analytics show that only 25% of you who view my channel are subscribed. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already.
Hello.
We in diamonds. I'm loving this right now.
Thank you.
Okay, so welcome to our 43rd date. I'm Sexy T, and this is Sassy Star. And this is the Single Girls Non-Guide to Sex, Dating, and Life in General. Before we continue, let me remind you that the title of the show is a disclaimer. This is a non-guide, because this podcast could help you with some shit, get you into some shit, or keep you from getting into some shit. With that being said, let's get into some shit.
Right?
It's been a minute.
Let me pour my drink right here, my Barefoot Moscato.
We got all three colors of Moscato. We got all them. Pink, red, and you got the white.
Right?
So the drink of the week, y'all, is Moscato. We love Barefoot Moscato. That is our favorite.
I do too. Yep.
You hear a third voice, so of course you know that we are having a threesome again. We can switch him over to this side. She's I know well. Okay, so how about you introduce yourself? Let everybody know who you are.
I am Andre. I have a YouTube channel by the name of SingleBlackGayDad, which is about my journeys to fatherhood with my twins. And definitely check it out. I'm on Instagram by the name of Sir_Illusion. And you can find me on various different social media sites and Twitter and all that, which there's links on my IG.
Perfect. Okay, so before we continue again, make sure you download, like, and subscribe and review this podcast. If you want us to keep giving you content, you gotta review, give us 5 stars. Let us know what you love. Let us know what you hate, but as long as you give us 5 stars, okay? That's
right?
Okay,
if it's 4 or 3, don't bother.
No, don't bother. Scroll up past. Keep going. Okay, so tell us about your YouTube channel. What made you decide that you wanted to do a YouTube channel to pretty much explain what it is that you were going through?
I wanted to do it because coming out of my journey and having my twins and whatnot, there was a lot of people that I realized had never done something like that before. And I got a lot of questions from strangers and different things like that. And a lot of people encouraged me to tell my story because my story is unique. There's not very many people who are single and embark on being a father and want twins all by themselves. So they were like, you know what, you got a story to tell. There's a lot of people who reach out regularly and want to know your story. So you have a funny way of telling stories and you're very animated and very out there with it. So I did it for myself. It was a make work project type of thing that I wanted to do and learn how to edit videos and expand on my skills. And then it became fun also knowing that I was helping people and able to expand my network, but also help people because there's a lot of messages that I still get that like asked me to refer people to clinics and agencies and all those different things. So I wanted to do something fun, but I also wanted to expand my skill set and help others in the process. Awesome. Okay, so I scrolled right past this, my bad. Tell everybody your age, your sign, and what you do for a living, because surrogacy is not cheap. It's not. It's definitely not. I know you ain't no drug dealer. No. I wouldn't mind dating one though, but no. Either way, he's not. I am 34, turning 35 in a few weeks. I am a Pisces. It's our season right now, holla. And I work in insurance. Work in insurance? Yes, I do. Okay. So yeah, you touched on that. Surrogacy is not cheap. It's about 2 cars. 2 fully loaded cars, just saying. Fully loaded cars? Fully loaded, brand new. Hold on, how old are the babies now? They're turning 3 in June. Woo! Oh my God. Yeah. I still haven't seen their faces. You are so strategic with your photo taking. It's not like I'll send you a picture. I didn't realize you hadn't seen them. I'll send you a picture. I don't like their faces online. No shade to anyone who has their kids out there, but there's too many weirdos and too many people who feel like they're entitled to your kids through social media and stuff like that. And then because of my lifestyle, they never asked for that. So I'm like, you don't know how people could try and bully them because of that. And I just have to be their protector and protect them from the weirdos online. And I fight. So I don't want to have to pull up at no one's doors. So you know what? Try to stay out of jail right here.
Stay in jail. Oh my God. Okay, so what made you decide that you wanted? Have you always wanted to be a father?
No.
No.
That in my 20s, I was not checking for kids at all. And then when I turned 30, for some reason, it was like a switch went off. I'm like, I want to do this. And I think because of my 20s, I was probably focused more on romance. Like I wanted the marriage and the whole shebang. And then as time went by, I'm like, you know what? This man thing ain't working out. And I'm like, I have a lot of love to give. And I feel like, especially in the gay community, there's a lot of people that have what they call their gay kids, which is other younger gays they take under their wing and they teach all these things and whatnot. And I was like, you know what? I want my own human that I can teach the lessons that I learned through my life and just inspire me and whatnot. So that's when I turned 30, it was like the maturity bulb went on. And I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do. So that's what changed for me. But I didn't always want to, though. No, not at all. I wanted to travel and do my thing.
But you've been since you were of age, you've always...
Yes. When I was 20, got my passport and I was out.
You were out. Okay, so a lot of gay couples, or I guess gay singles in your case, are expected to adopt.
Yes.
What made you, like, I know that seems to be like an expectation, or to go the easy, so-called easy route and just be like, hey girl, I want to
turn the lights out.
Your womb right quick. Like,
turn the lights out. Let's do this.
So how did you, like, was adoption ever an option for you, or were you always knowing that you were going to have to get a surrogate?
No. So I catch a lot of flack, to be honest, from gays that call me and other gays who want their own biological kids vain and we're selfish and this, that. I'm like, I never knew that being gay meant that I had to sign up to take everyone else's kids, offspring that they couldn't take care of, right? I was like, why can't I be like straight people who, when they want to have kids, they go have kids? So I was like, you know what? I didn't let that pressure and that bullying gets me. I was like, you know what? I'm a headstrong person. I do what I want to do. And I'm a boss in that way where I don't ask for permission. And my reproductive organs, my rules. So that was that. So for me, I'm not against adoption. I think adoption is a beautiful thing, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do for myself. And I'm not ruling it completely out. I have my 2 biological kids now. And maybe in the future, when they get older, I might want to do it again and adopt at that point. But I wanted to have my own biological children, and I won't apologize for that. And some people take it as being selfish or vain, then I'll be all of that. But I have my children, I have what I wanted, and that's that. And I'm not apologizing for it. So, and people have mentioned like, oh, why'd you spend all that money on surrogacy? Why don't you just sleep with the woman? I'm like, first of all, I'm gay. Secondly, I would probably need therapy after sleeping with a woman. And thirdly, like,
hold up,
I would need therapy. Strictly Nickly.
You've never slept with a woman?
Never.
No.
No.
Not even like, let me make sure.
No.
I'm sitting here laughing because I already know.
I am strictly. I came out the womb knowing I like dick. That was that. I didn't have to go through that phase of discovery. Like I knew I liked the men's. Okay. like,
Cheers.
No.
Cheers to that. Clink.
And then when they're like sleep with a woman, I'm like, who wants that baby daddy, baby mama drama? Like I didn't want. I'm like, I spent good money to make sure that legally my children are mine. I don't have to answer to anyone when I want to take my kid out the country or this, that. Like all decisions start and end with me. And that's how I like it. I'm not into the co-parenting thing and that's not my ministry. No.
Can you explain to us how it happened? Like, how did that happen?
How did you get through to get to that point where it's all you?
Okay, so it was multiple steps, and I'm a researcher. So when I want to do something, I'm like, okay, how am I getting there? How much money does it cost? How long does it take? And the very first step is I went to my family doctor, and I was like, hey, I want to be a single parent. I need you to fax a referral to the fertility clinic. And she was like a Middle Eastern lady, and she was like side-eyeing, like, why the hell do you want to do this alone and single? And like, I'm like, girl, mind your business, fax over the stuff you need to fax over, and like, you know, do what you do your job, right? So then the doctor, he's like, okay, you're single, you need a surrogate, you need an egg donor. Here's the agency. So I started reaching out to agencies, started doing interviews. And then the agency for the surrogacy, she connected me with my surrogate, and we hit it off. Like, we were like instant friends, and we were talking every day, like hours and hours a day. And then everything just went really quick. Like, from the moment that I was connected with my surrogate, which was in July of 2017, I had my kids June 2018. So literally the process took 11 months. Like, it was just like, from a start, everything just went rolling. Like, it was
That was
really
like a
quick.
one-night stand, eh?
Right? That's what it was really, really quick. It was really quick.
Okay. So on your channel, you talk about how before you found a surrogate, you had a friend who had, I don't know if she offered it up or if you asked her to, but let's get into, how did you and her know each other?
She wanted to try to change him. That's all. That's all I'm about to say. I mean, I'm saying, like, you so pretty. Like,
you did your research. Yeah. So me and her grew up together, basically, and me and her older sister are best friends. And she's one of those girls. Like, every gay guy has a bunch of female friends who are like, "Yo, when you're ready to do this, let me know. I'm down. I'm down. I'm down." And then when it comes down to, so many women do that, and I'm like, if you really mean it, I'm like, if you really mean it.
Our other Dre, I told him, I'm like, when you ready, I was like 16 years old. I was like, when you ready, I'm gonna have you.
Right? We all get that. Like, we all get that. We get multiple women telling us that, especially if you're attractive or women want to like think that you're gonna do it the traditional way, not the turkey baster or whatever. They're like, yeah, let me know, I'm down. It's like, okay. Some people may take that for a joke, but like, I was serious. I'm like, okay, you're really serious. Let's go to my clinic, get you tested, get you signed up and whatnot. And then when it came down to, she actually did do the testing and stuff. And then it was like hemming and hawing. Like, you know, when someone doesn't want to do something and you could just get the vibe. And I was catching the vibe, and I was just like, you know what? I'm like, I don't have time to play games. And at that point, I've already bought my house that I'm in now. And I'm like, I bought a house to have kids, and I'm relocating. Like, this is not a joke thing for me. So I'm like, yo, if you don't want to do this, let me know and let's squash this, because I will hate you if we go through this process and you burn me after I spent thousands of dollars. So we cut it early on. So it hurt. I was disappointed. I was devastated at the time. I was like, you know, like, how am I going to do this? And then I'm a go-getter. I don't let people stop me from doing what I got to do. So I was like, okay, you know what? That didn't work out. Dust yourself off. And I did the damn thing, and God made it all happen. Because I remember one of her rebuttals was me wanting to have twins. She's like, oh, that means I'm going to have a C-section. I'm like, not necessarily. Like, not all twins are born by a C-section, and not all singletons are born vaginally. Like, anything can happen, in an emergency that could happen, and then your birth plan goes out the window. So she was saying all that, and like, you know what? In the end, God gave me the most amazing surrogate ever. My both kids were born vaginally, head first. You know, so like, everything worked out. I'm like, my God has a good sense of humor, and he's like, you know what? What's for you will be for you. So that situation wasn't for me. Me and her are still cool, still got respect for it. That did hurt me, but I'm not a person who holds on to grudges too long. I'm like, you know what? The end result was the end result. What if I went that way and things didn't work out for whatever reason? So I'm not mad about it, but that did definitely hurt. So my thing is like, women, if you're not serious about helping your gay friends or helping your friends with infertility, don't volunteer.
Yeah.
And if someone asks you and you don't want to do it, be honest with them too. Like, don't lead them on and have them feeling like you won't help them and you're not. So
It's an emotional
that's
roller coaster. Like, that's messing with
for sure.
right?
It for sure is, yeah.
That's emotional and
Very.
yeah.
And you don't want to play those games with people, especially when it comes to their coin. Don't play people's coin and their time. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, hold on. I got a question. Okay, so you got hooked up with the doctor hooked you up with your surrogate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it your sperm and her egg?
No. So there's three of us involved.
Okay.
So the surrogate carried the baby,
Okay.
and there's me and the egg donor who made the children. So their biological mom is their egg donor. Okay. So she's biracial, I'm Black, and the surrogate was a white lady that carried.
Okay, so
Yeah.
pick who the egg donor was.
Yes. So there's a whole like website. It's like set up like a dating website. Like you can like search based on like race, height, weight, eye color, hair color. And then so then you choose them, and then if there's a match, like if they want to do it, because they have the right to obviously decide who they're giving their eggs to. So some egg donors were like, I'm not giving it to single parents. Some are like, I'm not giving it to gay couples. Like there's certain things that some of them have. Everyone has the right to choose. So mine, what was important for me was her profile sounded like she was doing it for the right reasons, and she was also open to future contact, which was important to me because I was like, you know what? I'm making this decision to be a single parent. My children don't necessarily sign up to not have a mother. So I was like, what was important for me was making sure that in the future, if they want to contact her, they want to know where they came from and whatnot, they had that option. So that was very important to me. And she was definitely open to future contact. And that's how everything worked out. And when me and her connected, we just hit it off. Like we knew each other for years and we're still in touch. And she comes to visit the kids and like everything just worked out the way that it was supposed to, which is not the norm. Because a lot of times when people have surrogates or egg donors, once the kids are born, it's like, thanks, it's a business transaction, it's done. But like both ladies are and were amazing, and we're still in touch. We're friends. Like
three of you are in touch?
Yeah, they're not in touch with each other, but I'm in touch with both of them.
Right.
And it works. It's like when you go through something that personal, it's hard to turn your back on someone or not talk to them anymore. Like I don't know how people do it, but I guess if you had a bad experience, I could see why you would want to separate yourself from that. But my experience with both of them and the birth story and experience was amazing. So I have no complaints, and my kids are healthy and everything worked out. So it's all good around here.
That is awesome. So I can sell my eggs? Is that what you're saying?
There's what?
I can sell my eggs?
Not in Canada, no.
Oh,
so
you can donate in Canada.
You can donate, yeah. So you get in Canada, you get your out-of-pocket expenses. So if you have to miss work, all your meals during that time. So like, I guess you come out ahead in terms of free food, if you want to say that.
I like
right?
food.
The food, right?
Okay. No, my thought process is I'm done having kids. I didn't want no more. I got a whole football team. Like
How many?
Well, altogether we've got 6 and a grandbaby. So I'm
okay.
But
a grandbaby. You don't look old enough to have a grandbaby.
She is a grandma. She's
and
a nana.
A grandma. Grandma.
And I'm just thinking, like, I still get my period. What for? So I might as well do something with it, right?
Well, you definitely can. Like, I think that's an amazing way to help people. And if you're okay with, like, because they do psychological evaluations to make sure that you're going to be okay with knowing that you have offspring out there potentially. So if it's something that you think you could do, then that's amazing. It's not for everyone. Like I meet a lot of Black women who are like, oh, why didn't you get a Black surrogate? I'm like, a lot of Black women are not, I've never seen in Canada. I don't know about anywhere else, but all the surrogates that I've seen, the profiles, I've never seen not one Black person. And I get it.
I only know ones.
Yeah. And I get it because in our community, it's frowned upon. Like we're not used to that type of thing. So a lot of them are like, I would never do that. I'm like, okay, well, it's not for you. Yeah. It's like there's certain people that can donate their eggs and be fine with that, and there's certain people that can carry children and for someone else and let the child go when the birth happens and whatnot. Not everyone is cut out for that. That's what makes surrogates amazing human beings, because not everyone can do it.
Yeah, that would be really hard. I feel like carrying somebody else's child, I could totally do, but having a child and just not being able to take care of that child and comfort that child, and that would be really hard. It's like giving a child up for adoption after having a baby.
It's not for everyone. And I think selfishly, in my case, I feel like selfishly, I wanted my children to have access to their biological mothers, so that if they wanted to know where they came from and whatever. But I feel like selfishly also for her, it helps her in her, I wouldn't say grief, because we're all in contact and she knows the kids and whatnot. But it helps her also so that she doesn't wonder, like, where are my kids or what happens to them. Like she knows, like I send her regular pictures and she sees them when she can and whatnot. So it helps both of us in a way, like emotionally and mentally, I feel at least.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that they have the option to be in contact with their biological mother, is that for the donor and the carrier, the surrogate, or is that only for the surrogate?
No, that's only for the donor. So the surrogate is, I guess, the vessel, if you will.
Okay.
She just carried them. So the child could grow up and want to be like, I want to thank the woman who gave me life.
Yeah.
But for the most part, most people are concerned about the egg donor because that's who you're biologically related to.
Right.
So a lot of people, for a lot of parents, it's important that there's the option for access when the children turn 18.
Right.
So she was definitely open to future contact, which was important to me because I was like, I'm making this decision, but my decision affects my children and they deserve to know where they came from. Because we all know so many people who don't know their father, don't know their mother, and they're lost. Even as adults, like they just have no concept of where they came from and that longing feeling, what longing to belong. And I'm like, I didn't want to have my children go through that because my father wasn't involved, but then I got to meet his family when I was 10. So for me, that tied up the loose ends and questions about, okay, who is he? I got to know him through his family, like seeing how his family was. So I feel like if I had never connected with them, I would always have that longing, like, where's my father's family? Where's the other half of me? What are they like? And, I didn't want to have human beings and have them go through that loss.
Right.
And whatnot. So.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
How involved were you during the pregnancy and the birth? Like, were you there? Did you?
Yeah. So.
Were you there?
I was there. So I wasn't. Okay. So I was involved virtually with the pregnancy because I live in Ontario and she lives in Alberta. So the procedure to. Yeah. So the procedure to put the babies in was.
Good.
Right. So she lives in Alberta, so she flew here to Toronto to have babies inseminated, and I was there for that. And then she flew back the same day, and then I flew in the day that she was to be induced. So I wasn't there for the whole pregnancy, but she gave me regular updates. She was very good with every appointment, and the gender reveal we did virtually and stuff like that. So I was there virtually, and she kept me updated with everything. She was amazing in that way. So I never had, even though I was far away, like 4-hour plane ride away, it didn't feel like I was so far away. Right. So it was good. And then I definitely was there. I was worried that like if she went into labor early, like by any chance, like I wouldn't get there in time. Like I don't think that's something I'd be able to forgive myself for, but luckily everything worked out. I flew in early that morning. I got there, I think at 9 a.m. and they started to induce her at 1:30 and the children were born at 9 p.m. in the night. So we were there all day. Everything worked out. And then we flew back 3 days later. So everything was perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So when it comes to, sorry, I like completely lost my train of thought. Okay.
Because we're like a bottle and a half in.
Right?
You need to catch up with us. This is us right now.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So have your children at this point ever met their biological mother, like even virtually? Like have they seen her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's come over and spent weekends and stuff. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She has 2 boys that are older. They're, I think one's 10, the other one's 12 or 13. So they have older brothers. So they've all met and continue to, with like not so much recently with COVID. But before that they would come over every few months or so, or a few weeks or so. And they would connect. They definitely know each other. Yeah. That was, for me, it wasn't important going into it, but then as it happened, it made me realize how important it was. I want them to know her and she's a good girl and her family is amazing. So I think that's in their best interest. Even though there's a lot of people I don't agree with that. There are a lot of people who say to me all the time, like, oh, you're good. I wouldn't let my kids know. I'm like, they're not your kids. And you need to answer to your children when they get older. So I'm not going to be, at least if any, God forbid anything were to happen or whatnot, and our relationship was to dissolve, I can look at my children in the face and say, I tried everything in my power to keep that line of communication open.
Yeah.
I never kept you from anybody. I let everyone that wanted to have access to you have access. And that's my part as a parent. Because when you're a parent, it's not about you. It's about your kids and their mental best interest and whatnot. So yeah, they definitely know her, and she's amazing. Like she sends them gifts and she checks for them, and she's great. I couldn't ask for a better, as I call her, my baby mama, my baby mama that I didn't sleep with, but she is amazing. She's awesome. I love her.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good. So how did your friends and family react? when you made the decision?
They were not all very supportive, to be honest. My mom has 4 kids. I'm the oldest of her 4. And she's like, it's hard. Why do you want to go do that? And it's like, okay, you do with 4. I just want like 1 or 2, you know? And I've never done something that I wasn't able to do well. So I was like, you know what? And I'm a headstrong person. You tell me no, I'm going 10 times harder because I have to make it happen. I have to prove to you that I can do it and do it better than ever. So she wasn't very supportive at first. There was a few people who were like, why are you spending all that money? Why don't you just do it the natural way? And there's some people like, why do you want to have kids, period? Like, just go live your life and whatever. It's like, how are you going to tell me what's in my heart and what I should and shouldn't do? You know, like, I don't want to leave this earth with not having a child. No shade to anyone who doesn't.
Say that to a woman. No one would ever say those things to a woman. Yeah.
Well, it's the opposite. When you're a woman, you don't have kids. It's like, what is your value? What is your like?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm like, if everyone would mind their own reproductive business, like, we would be a better society. Like, mind your business. Like, for real.
Mind your own
business.
That's the name right there. That's
mind your business.
Oh shit.
So, okay, you were just hoping to get a baby. What was it like when you found out that you were having 2 twins?
Well, we tried for 2. We knew that it was gonna be 2. And like, to be honest, I had to fight for it because a lot of surrogates don't want to carry twins because of complications. My surrogate luckily wanted to and loves carrying twins. So I was lucky in that way. And then a lot of doctors refuse to transfer 2 unless there's a medical reason, like you're above 40 or you've had multiple tries where it didn't work.
Right.
So a lot of them, for medical liability, they don't want to. So I had to basically go in there and like, I want twins. So my thought process was, hey, I want twins. And secondly, I was thinking from the point of a plan B, like if one didn't work out, there'd be a better probability of at least one working out.
Right.
So I was like, I didn't have the biggest budget where I could be going at this like 5-10 times. It was basically like almost a one shot and done thing. If it didn't work out at least once or twice, then I wasn't gonna be a parent. Like, so I knew the stakes were really high. So I was like, I gotta go in there with twins and hopefully it all works out. And my doctor was very confident. He's like, if I put 2 in there, there's gonna be 2. And I was like, that's the point. That's what I want. I wanted a one-stop shop. I was like, that's the point. Like, I wanted 2 boys at first. And then when I found out it was 2, I was convinced it was 2 boys for the longest time. And then when we did the gender reveal, I realized I was having 1 of each. And everyone was like, you're so lucky, you're so lucky. And at the time, I didn't feel that way. But then after I started thinking, and I was like, you know what? Girls are amazing. They love their dads. And I was thinking like, and I started to have visions of like me walking my future daughter down the aisle. And I'm like, you know what? This is honestly the best outcome. Like, God really gives you what you need for your situation. And then I see people who have all of one gender and how they long for the other one. I'm like, you know what? This is the dopest freaking scenario ever to get a boy and a girl right out the gate. And they're both amazing. And I'm glad that way worked out that way because they're so polar opposite in their personalities. Like, my son is super hyper. My daughter is like super chill. Like, they're just like day and night.
They like really like. Can you tell that they're twins though? Like,
they have a similar look. Yeah, they have you could tell they're brothers. They don't look identical, but they're a boy and girl. But you could tell they're related. Like, when they were younger, like their baby pictures, like they looked identical. Like, I could only, like, when I look at the pictures now, I know them apart because I know them apart, but I'd always keep him on the left and her on the right just to keep in the pictures. But now you could tell, like, they look completely different, but you could tell that they're related, that they have like similar features.
And
and they're the same skin tone and all that. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you get the best of both worlds. A girl and
I do.
Like, honestly.
I honestly do.
You get to experience both at the same time.
Yes. It's honestly the best case scenario ever that could have ever happened. It always goes to show, like, you think you know what's right for you and you don't always until life gives it to you. You're like, okay, now I see what you're doing there. I see it.
Yeah. So how are you the only single gay dad that you know? Like, do you have other friends now, like, from the position that you put in?
No. All the people that I know are aspiring. And then the gay fathers that I know, most of them are dating or married or in a long-term relationship. So I'm the only single one that I know. Like all the ones that I know that want to be, they're aspiring. They haven't started the process, or they're not. They don't have kids yet. Well, sorry, I'm lying. I know one guy, but his surrogate's pregnant right now.
Oh,
So
okay.
he will be, but not yet.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're dating, like, get into the nitty gritty.
Yes.
It's a hot mess. It's honestly a hot, like I already knew men weren't shit before I had kids, so it was always a thing. But now that I'm a parent,
can we cheers to that right quick?
hello,
Clink,
clink, clink, clink.
I'm sure for all y'all. Love my man.
Yeah, before I had kids, it was hard.
Donate.
Right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a hater.
I found the only time that dating for me was easy before I started my career. Like when you work in fast food or you work in retail, like your dating options are endless because you have no standards. Let's be honest. Like your standards are a lot lower. And as you like get into the corporate world, this, that, like you start feeling yourself a bit. Like you start feeling you're like my tax bracket is too high to be doing all of that. So, you know, like obviously finances aren't everything, but it's a significant thing. And as you reach more milestones in your life, you start buying your own homes and this, that, and the other without a man, it makes it a lot harder because you're like, okay, when a guy comes to the table with just penis, you're like, what do you have to offer me? And dick is not the end all be all because I don't have a problem catching that.
Pause.
I don't have a problem catching that. Okay. So
all the single men, let the lady bring more than just pussy. Cause every bitch got pussy. What else?
Yep.
All right.
True.
You gotta have more to offer. And for me, I need attentiveness. I need consistency. And if you're not giving me those things, like I can overlook if you don't have your whole life together, but you got to be all about me and make that time. I'm not going to be putting up with a busy broke man. Okay. Where you're always busy, got this, that, and the other to do. And your bank account is not matching. The math are not matching for me. So like, no, like it's a dub.
Story of my motherfucking life.
It's a dub. Like the maths have to be mathing. If I'm gonna put up with a man not being around all the time, like you gotta be a Bill Gates type of dude where you got money and you got businesses or you run the country. You're a Barack Obama. Like you got to be doing stuff where I'm like, okay, he's busy running the world. Not he don't work.
I said if you said running the country, you got to be Barack Obama.
Run the country, doing something. Fortune 500. Fortune 500. And if you're not doing those things, why are you too busy to talk to me? Like, no.
Good though. You know what you want. You know what
absolutely.
You want. Need.
You're younger than me.
At the end of the day, that's what a lot of people need to know. Though they need to know what
you have to. And to be honest, my ex, we broke up because he didn't want to have kids. So that was literally 5 years ago. Wow. So we were together, and I was like, I was at the beginning of my journey where I was like, you know, I want to do this. And he's like, you're really serious about this whole kid thing? I'm like, absolutely. And he's like, well, I don't want to have kids. I want it to just be us. And I'm like, my idea of a future is not being with a man who A, never wants to get married, and B, doesn't want to have kids, wants to sit home and play video games all day. Like that is not my idea of the judge. That may be good for certain people, that's not good for me. And I'm not putting up with that. So I was like, you know, we were together for a year, almost a year. So in the beginning, he seemed like he was open to, but then when he started to see that like, yo, he's going to appointments, he's serious, he's really trying to make this happen. Then he's like, wow, you're really trying to do this. I'm like, absolutely. And I'm like, if this is not what you want, then let's not. And then after we broke up and I had the kids, he's like, oh, I want you back so bad that I'm willing to like put up with you and your kids. I'm like, that's not something you put up with. That's not something that you settle for. I'm like, that is not, I don't know if he thought that was cute, but no, like I was like, I'm good. I'd rather be single and be a single dad and have my kids love me unconditionally than be with some man who doesn't know what he wants and stuff. Like, that's not what I want for myself. So no. I was like, put up with your kids. I was like, no. And then dudes like that who you know didn't want your kids, like next thing, like it's some crazy shit where he tries to kill your kids because he's jealous of them. Like, no, like I will, based on the fact that I knew you never wanted them, I would never trust you around them, like ever. Yeah. Like, I don't even know how people date dudes, don't know them, move them in and around your kids. Like, are you crazy? Like, I pretty much accepted that, like, at this point, like, until my kids are old enough.
Hold on, pause. Where'd you go, bitch? You left all the way over there.
You just described the whole 2020. whole
She just faded all the way out.
No, but like it's crazy. I'm like, a lot of these men out here are crazy. A lot of them are pedophiles and child molesters. Like, you cannot be having a random dude you don't know from nowhere around your children. Like, that's madness to me. So the kids, as I said, are almost 3, and they've never met no dude at all, ever. Like, ever. I'm not saying it will never happen, but I need to know you, need to know what you're about. And preferably, I'd prefer a man who had kids of his own, so he knows what it's like. He knows my level of protection and why I am the way that I am. Because my mom was protective of us, and I'm going to be the same way with my kids. Like, you can't just be having randoms taking your kid to school and leaving them alone with randoms and you don't know them like that. Like, no. No.
Yeah.
Like, I made the decision to have them. So that means that my love life got to be on hold till they're grown or whatever, or I have my love life on the side that doesn't involve them, then so be it for now, because we can't.
Ask you, like, do you have a love life? Like, because you have to, as a parent, as a single parent, you have to make some time for yourself. You got
for sure. We have needs. We definitely have needs, and my needs get met. They get met.
How do they get met?
They get met. My hookup comes over, or I go over there.
Okay.
And my children are asleep. My children ain't never seen no bad. As far as they know, daddy don't get none.
None.
Good.
Right? Like the itch has to be scratched, and it does from time to time. But I find like lately I'm just focused on me and just chilling. And I find that a lot of dudes, and I'm not saying that that's the norm, a lot of dudes just bring unnecessary dude stress. So for me, I'm just like, drop off the D and go. Like, I don't have time for the you pretending your mind, trying to check up where I've been and whatnot. Like, just, we know what time it is. You bout it, come through, do the do, and go. Like, we don't need to be doing like straight up business transaction. Like,
That's a dick transaction.
I just put you on glass. I feel like that's what you really need. You just need to just focus on you, do the call, and a bounce.
I mean,
listen, and there's nothing wrong with wanting more. We all want that eventually, but I'm like, I'm not gonna settle for pieces and scraps anymore. Like, I'm just not. That's not what I see in my future. I'm like, yo, if you're gonna supply me with some eggplant service, do that and go. All the extras, don't need that. Like, some of these dudes like, oh, let's chill, let's hang out. For what? I don't want to date you.
I ain't got time.
what is hanging out? We are in our 30s. What is hanging out?
No.
I have friends that I hang out with. Those are my friends. I hang out with them. I don't need no more friends.
Time is an investment. And if I don't see you in a romantic sense and we're not trying to have a future, I don't want to waste my time chilling with you, smoking with you, going on dates and pretending that we're together when we're not together. Like, I don't have time for that. So a lot of these guys feel used because they're like, you just want the sex and that's it, pretty much. What do you think rich people do? You think they got time to be, unless they're looking for companionship, they're not trying to court you and do all that extra stuff. Like, let's do the do and go. Like, we work 40 hours a week. We got kids. Like, feel like time. Time is the essence. Like, come on.
So how often do you date, or how often does the D get dropped off?
How often do you get that itch?
Not, to be honest, not very often. Like, I am good with a few. Like, if I'm with someone, I want it like daily or like very regularly, like multiple times a week.
You have a connection with them.
You want that, yeah. And now it's like, it's a necessity thing, especially because of COVID. Like, you know what the hell these guys are, what they're exposing themselves to. So it's like, you're not trying to put yourself out there to possibly catch COVID and die over some D. Like, no one's trying to do all that. So for me, it's like, it's a necessity thing. So it's like, once you hit the reserve and you're like running on empty, you're like, okay, I need to fill up at this point. So for me, it's like every like monthly, like maybe a few times a month. Like, it's not a regular, it's like once it's dire, like a drought, if you will, then I'm like, okay, gotta fill up.
No more porn. There's no more porn left.
If it's a drought, then I'm like, okay, come through.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is your YouTube channel?
SingleBlackGayDad TV.
Single Black Gay Dad.
That's our Instagram.
TV.
People are asking us on Instagram.
Oh, that's what I see?
Yeah.
I am
so
excited for them to see it because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I couldn't stop watching it. Like, I'm supposed to be doing my job, and I'm just like, the phone rings. I'm like, damn.
I gotta get back into it. It's been a while. I have a few more videos I have in mind that I have to what was stopping me was my laptop was so slow. I ordered a new one, so I'm getting a new one in soon. So once I do that, to make the editing a lot faster and a lot easier to do it. So it's coming. I need to just get on it. But it's hard because I'm like, I want to share a lot, but I don't want my kids' faces out there. So it's a limitation on the things that I can show and stuff. And I want to be like having videos with their emojis running around. Like, you know, it's hard to, like, you want to let people in, but you have to have something for yourself. Like there's such thing as oversharing.
Yes.
And especially when it comes to your children, like you got to be worried about their privacy.
Yeah.
Because you signed up for the online life, they did not.
Yeah.
So you have to be cognizant of that.
With people watching it, it's just like, okay, let me see the babies.
Yeah.
And they never come.
No.
It's anticipation one day.
Right? Nope. You know, the funny thing, my sister had her baby last year and she was on that tip at first and she gave, like, a lot of people started at first and they're like, okay, here's my kid. I'm like, nope. nope.
I think for I said his name. Damn it,
Right?
I have to edit that out.
We can't edit no more.
Yeah.
We got that.
And hear
when
me
I
about to
had my son-
repeat his name too. It's like, beep.
When I had my son, for like the first few months, I never showed his face. Or if I did, I was like only... Because they have a private setting on there was no Instagram yet. On Facebook, where you can only share it to like certain people. So that's what I would do. So I totally understand it. And then my girlfriend was like, everyone's going to think your son is ugly if you don't show his picture. I'm like, no. I'm sorry, but do you see...
People think that?
No,
it's true. No, people think that.
My baby's ugly. No.
People think that, and then when I trust people or like close friends like you that I've known for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I send pictures privately. They're like, "Oh my God, your kids are so cute." I'm like, "What do you think they were?" They're far from ugly. I just don't want them out there like that. People are weird.
I ain't never seen the baby mama, but looking at you can't make an ugly baby. That wouldn't happen.
They look mostly like her. Like the girl looks like me, just a lighter version. He looks exactly like his mom. Like so, like. And I knew people were waiting for my kids to be ugly, not because of me, but like people just are bad mind that way. Yeah. And I was like, listen, I, unlike a lot of straight people, took the time to do the research. I'm like doing face merging apps to see like what this was given. Like, I needed to know. I'm a planner.
Face apps accurate?
They were not, but I had to know because I'm like, me and her have similar features. She's just lighter. I didn't know they were going to be as light as they are.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? Our features are pretty similar where if they were to go either way, we'd be all right. You don't want to be doing things that are too off where you're like, this could go one of two ways that may be good or may not be good. So I was like, you know what? I know people are bad mind waiting for my kids to be ugly and I'm not giving it to you, child. I'm not giving it. No.
I make pretty babies. So I'm saying my eggs will be good.
Sell them in America. Sell them in America. Watching. Okay, so you said that your babies are polar opposites. What are their personalities like?
Sorry. Whoa, I said their name. Sorry, no. I said their names on the show. I said their name on the exclusive, so I can say it. So I was like, if I keep that secret, no, my kids' names are out there. Sorry. So Braxton, named after the amazing Tony Braxton.
Hold on. That's what you used to sing when you were little across the street from T, right?
In the back.
Yes.
Yes. We forgot to tell them how you guys know each other. You have to tell that story.
We were backyard neighbors. Like literally, her backyard touched mine. Like literally, could like hop over the fence. Literally.
Yeah, I remember being in my room. There's this one time, and I was singing my ass off at the top of my lungs, and the song ended, and I heard all this laughing outside and you and your sister were standing there, listening to me sing and laughing at me. They still laugh, but you still gotta listen to it, though.
Right?
And he was singing Tony Braxton.
Yeah,
so that makes complete
right.
Yeah,
she's always my favorite. So he's named after her. His personality, he's so bossy and like he's very dumb. Well, there you go. My mom's like, why is he such a bully? And then we all like did a collective pause. We're just like, oh yeah. So he's very dominant, and my daughter, she's a lot more chilled and relaxed, and she's very loving. So is he, but he's very moody. And she's a complete daddy's girl. Like, she loves the hell out of me. Like, from the moment she was born, like, her eyes just open and she was just locked on me. Like, even when she's a newborn, like, if I left the room, she's like looking for me, like, where you at? Like, she was just always been that girl. So, like, she definitely was what I never knew I needed, but she came through at the right time. She's amazing. So they're like, I just can't believe how different they are. Like, it's crazy, but it's a good contrast. Because, like, dealing with him times 2, I don't know if I could do that. Like, he's a lot.
He's too much.
He's team too much. Team too much all the time. He's a very sweet kid, though.
Cheers to kids.
Cheers to kids, because we all got so much. Clink, clink.
They drive us crazy, but they're necessary. Like, they're amazing.
So what do you want for your future? I know we can't predict the future and all we can do is work towards our goals, but what is your ideal life for you and your children in the next 5-10 years?
I would love to meet an amazing man. I would love to, hopefully he has kids of his own, or we have another child together and we have a blended family. That would be amazing. I want to have traveled the world more. I want to expose them to more travel. Like, we've only gone to Cuba so far. But I want to do a lot more travel with them. I want them to experience the world and be worldly, because I feel like travel is education, and it opens your mind, and you could just tell the people who are not exposed to different cultures and different foods and like how limited their mindset is. So I want to be traveling the world. I want to be in a better place financially, where money is not an issue at all. Like, if I want that, like, price don't matter. Like, I just want to just be good. I want to be good mentally. I want to be good physically, my best body, live my best life. Like, I just want to be on it. So.
Well, you're on the road. You're on your way there.
I am. I'm trying. I'm just, every day I'm trying to focus my little goals and just an emphasis on setting boundaries and just always making myself happy and making sure I'm good. Even as a parent, like, I make sure their needs are met, but I make sure that I'm good. Because if I'm not good, then they're never gonna be good, right? So I'm just trying to do what's best for me. I'm trying to put on the universe the things that I want. A good man who's all about me and he's not sharing his community D around. Like, you know, someone who knows what they want and they're about it, and just be good. Like, I just want to just be good and happy, and like, that's it. And it doesn't require a lot. Like, just the simple things in life.
Okay, so
I'm trying to do.
That.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
I think that's what we all want. We all just want to be good. We want to have a good person beside us to build that.
Like a real friend. Like, I've never had, like, I've always settled, and I'm like, at this point in my life, I'm like, especially after being single for 5 years, it is a Pisces thing. We like who likes us. And that's the other thing. I don't know if the viewers know that me and we are twins.
I like you too.
No!
I don't know if the viewers know, but we have the same birthday. So yeah, we're birthday twins, right? So like, Pisces, we like who likes us. We usually like someone likes us and they give us attention. We're like, he's not that cute, or the sex ain't that great, but he's a nice guy. So then eventually we start to mold ourselves into liking it. Then when he hurts us, we're like,
I'm listening.
We're like, what the hell? I didn't even like you. Like, why?
Okay, we have an issue that we need to like come together as a group after the podcast and figure out this shit, because it's got to stop.
It has to. Well, for me, it has. For me, I've identified that I tend to go after people who I don't like. And then I'm like, I settle. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm like, from now, I'm like, I see one thing I don't like, I'm out. I'm cutting. Like, because at the end of the day, guys are not looking at all these red flags and ignoring it. If they don't like you, they don't want you, that's it.
And you know what? I was the opposite. As soon as I saw something I didn't like earlier, like in my early 20s and teens, the second, like I remember dating a guy and I saw him dance and I was like, no rhythm, bye. Like, honestly, like the first time I saw something I didn't like, I was out. And then I realized, okay, I can't be like that. I have to give more chances. So I just started like
within reason. If it's a non-negotiable, you don't owe anyone any explanation. You're like, I can't live with that. The end.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That comes with age, though.
Yeah.
Age and
for
experience,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
There's
you have to know what works for you and what doesn't.
Yes.
Because dead ass, like even the relationship that I'm in now is amazing, but it took so much to get there. It took hard work. It took him putting up with shit. It took me putting up with shit. Like, there was red flags where we both should have walked away. And we're
For
just
sure.
like, you know what? We're gonna.
You have to assess like the pros and the cons. Like, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Yeah, it was the kids. It was the relationship he had with my kids. It was the relationship I had with his kids that we just fight on and keep going, right?
Okay.
So I think that you're on the right track when it comes to, if you ain't having my kids, if you ain't in that mindset, then fuck off. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. The most important thing, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
I get two extremes. I get guys who like don't want to date me because I have kids, and then I got guys who are excited to date me because I have kids, which both can be a bit weird. Like some guys are like, oh, you have twins. I always want to date someone with kids. I'm like, that's scary to me. I'm like, that's not attractive at all.
Like, why
that sounds like on some
kids?
Do you know what you're getting into? Like,
right? And my kids are a piece of work. They will run you out of town. So like, you may not want to roll up over here with that. Like, no.
Okay, so Dre, we have something on our show called the Digmatized Story of the Week. So do you? I
wish you guys could see his face.
Wow.
Okay, so
you gotta go on YouTube to watch the video.
So do you have a story where you were either digmatized or you digmatized somebody else?
I can see all of them going through it. Which one?
There's like, my whole life is scandal. So like, there's so many like where do I begin?
Where do I begin? I'm watching you think, and all I can think of is the DMX song. There was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia.
Listen. Body count higher than the cemetery. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot around here.
You put higher than the cemetery.
It's a lot.
Fat clink.
I love... I'm toxic in the sense that I tend to be attracted mostly to guys who identify as straight, like those bad boys who are bisexual on a down low. Like, that's usually my type. Like, a lot of girls are like, I have a friend for you. It's like, if you know he's gay, he's probably not my type. So I'm toxic. That's probably why I also don't have a man. Toxic.
Come over here.
Right?
Come over here.
We like similar men, okay?
Okay.
So there's this guy that like he was a thug, you know, drug dealer, gun, all that, baby mama, drama, all of that. And him, I was a fool for him. Like, he was always putting it down, and no matter where I was or what I was doing, whenever he called, I was available. Okay. No matter if I was at school or work, I was leaving, going home and getting ready for that appointment. Like, he had me on lock in that way. And it was whenever he hit me up. So sometimes months and stuff would go by, weeks would go by, and it's like, yo, you good? And one time, TMI, but I was getting finished with another man. And he was like, yo, what you doing? Can I come through? And of course, I was not going to tell him no. So I had to go do a whole bath quickly and get myself ready for him. Like, I was like, and I was looking in the mirror like, you a nasty hoe. Like, I was appalled with myself, but I'm like, I was not gonna be okay if I did not do that. And, you know, like, no. When the D is good, you will make yourself available. Like, child, put the kids to bed early. Like, it's like, you will do what you gotta do to be ready.
Shit.
Like, I was like,
I'm not even mad at the story.
Listen, have him whispering like, when was the last time? I'm like, oh, it was telling him you were the last time. Meanwhile, a man just left an hour ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad that I lived a very well-rounded life. So when I am ready to finally settle down, I have no reservations.
Yeah, you got over your hoe phase, basically. You did.
Did you say get over? Like, I'm still not in it? Like, it's what we're doing. Okay, I'll take that. I'm like wondering, like, oh my God, like, am I gonna be this way at 50? Like, what? Like,
when does it stop?
Right? Let me know, because I see some 70-year-old hoes. Like, I'm like, please, let me stop. Let me drop it low for one man. Like, that's like, just one.
Drop it low and hopefully hopefully not need a crutch or a walker.
Right?
Hopefully
By
not.
time. At the rate these men are going, ciao.
2021 ain't no joke. Okay, so we've reached the end of our episode. Let everybody know once again where everybody can find you, your Instagram, your YouTube channel. Let everybody know where they can find you.
My YouTube is SingleBlackGayDad TV on YouTube. And on Instagram, I'm under Sir Illusion. And on Twitter, I am _illusions. So you can find me on any of those forums and connect with me.
Yes,
and follow me.
You heard that.
Perfect. And of course, everybody, we need you to rate, review, follow, download, subscribe, all of that on Instagram. We are SGNG on our, what's our email address? sgnonguide@gmail.com.
You know what? I'm gonna say don't even do that button. No. Nobody checks that shit.
I check it all the time. What are you talking about?
Oh, she checks that shit. I don't.
I check the shit. Make sure you hit us up, and thank you once again. We haven't talked to you guys in a long time, so thank you for sticking with us, and we will be back next week with a new episode. Andre, you don't go nowhere. I'm gonna stop recording this shit real quick.